All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the NPR, campus of Tulane University. Game 6 for the Green Wave. This week's game will be against number 24 Houston. Friday night game, 8 p.m. on ESPNU. And you guys have any questions, just let us know. And now here's our head coach, Curtis Johnson.
You know, it's always tough after you have an opportunity to do something that you want so bad for your program, especially for the kids, and it didn't turn out. You know, I thought the game last week started off just kind of like we scripted it. You know, got a couple turnovers, scored. We didn't score early on. Then all of a sudden it began to go south, and you know we didn't do anything to stop it from going south. We made some critical mistakes when we probably should not had. Quarterback got a concussion. He got hurt probably somewhere in the first or second quarter. I think it was actually the doc said he saw it in the first quarter. And you know, some of the decisions, I kind of looked at him like, God, what are you doing? And now, after the game, we knew why. You know, Tanner's such a competitor that he wanted to be in the game, and he just wanted to play and wanted to win. And all of us are. The coaches want to win, and I never put a kid in jeopardy, and we know that, and he knows that. But you know, so he'll be out this week, and we'll play with Devin Powell. We've done this in the past. He's played well for us when we were out. But, you know, it was a disappointing loss, but now finally, you know, we up. I think everybody's done with the nightmares. I think Temple's a fantastic team. Coach Rule got his defense going. That defensive front is outstanding, amazing. And now we got to get ready for this offense at Houston. Houston's a great team. You know, it centers around their quarterback. He's phenomenal. You know, great, tough defense and an offense that really scores a lot of points. So we have our work cut out for us. And I think our kids are ready to play. I know we'll get them ready to play by Saturday. By Friday, not Saturday. Saturday, the game's over. Yes?
What was Tanner's diagnosis?
He had a concussion.
Did you guys know right after the game, or did Tanner kind of just try to hide it from you during the game? Or?
Well, I think in the third quarter he went to the locker room and you know, we kind of knew something was off, but we didn't know exactly what it was. You know, that was one of those games where it was going fast, and you know, because he started out so well, and then after a while it was something. And they brought him into the locker room, and then you know we didn't have him. We knew we didn't have him. They don't really give us a diagnosis of everything when it happens. They just say a guy is out or not. You know, and then I may say, how long is the injury or whatever, but they only tell me, and they say Tanner was out. So then we moved on.
Is there a protocol in the NFL? Obviously, there's a protocol. Is there one at Tulane, and is it based on severity, or is it just based on you got a concussion, you're out?
Yeah, well, Dr. Stewart has a protocol, and what he's doing is he feels that he should be out this week for sure, and I agree with him. And so we're Dr. Stewart is the NFL guy, so it's the same policy.
And as far as Devin goes, what's his preparation? He's been in this situation before. Do you feel as comfortable as you could feel with the basketball?
Yeah, as comfortable as I could feel. You know, you look at a couple years ago what he did, you know, in about a 2 or 3 game stretch. I thought he played outstanding for the number of reps he had and for what he's done. It's just, you know, it's a simpler plan. You know, he gives us ability to run it a little bit more, that he can run. He can tuck it in under and run. He's big. He's physical. He has a strong arm. So I'm excited to see him play.
The penalty against Sherman out of bounds. I know and I'm not gonna ask you to comment on it, but how much of a momentum changer was that at that time in the game?
The one thing that we thought, and I don't know if we would have won the game or not, but we thought that we get the ball back in the second half. You know, we were thinking we'd be first down on the other side of the 50, getting ready to throw a shot play that we thought would really work. One of the plays that we've been waiting to throw all day that we had. And then when he said it was on Sherman, I mean, I've never seen that happen before ever. And then I almost get kicked out the game because I just couldn't believe it. It was mind-boggling. And I'm usually I'll go after him and leave it alone, but I just couldn't leave it alone because it was one of those calls. And then we get the report back, and this wasn't a holding, and we got a paragraph on that one how screwed up it was. So you know, and I don't want to complain about the officiating, but that particular call, I think our kids, it kind of took the wind out of their sails because, you know, this is a, you know, relatively young team with very little success. And now, you know, a call like that it was devastating for us. We may have lost, but we wouldn't have lost that bad.
Have you seen that kind of thing happen before with this team? And is it a sign of do you need them to mature? Do you need that when things
Exactly.
start going down,
Exactly.
that it unravels
Exactly.
quicker than it?
Exactly. To me, it's a case where when you're playing so many young players, the Monroes and those guys can't really get it back together. And then, they can't get it. And that's the one thing that we got to do. It's a must. Sometime, hopefully this game, that we get it where you just don't flinch, you don't worry about the scoreboard, you just keep going and going and going and going.
Has it been hard to gauge this offensive line because you've had games like this that are either you guys are dominating the line or the other side is really getting in there? Has it been really hard to gauge, and what do you kind of attribute that to?
Well, what I think, one of the points, and I talk with the coordinators, both coordinators, especially Coach Price, is I don't ever want to be, I don't care if we're up by 100 or we're down by 100, I don't want to be one-dimensional. So I'll get booed, I'll take the boos, but we got to run the ball with this young quarterback. These receivers are relatively young. Veal didn't have very many starts. And, this team is quite young early on in this team with Sherman and those younger kids. I don't want to just throw. And if you do that, I think the offensive line won't be very good. But if you run it enough, and that's what we did against Central Florida, we got a chance to get a mix. We can't look at the scoreboard. We just got to mix it. That's where we are right now in this program.
Roger Teamer forced a fumble early
Yes.
with a big hit. Then he went for a bigger hit later and didn't get the tackle. Is it hard to tell a guy who'd forced 2 fumbles already with a big hit without wrapping up that he needs to wrap up? And how do you feel like he played overall?
I thought he played okay. I thought it was for our young kids, especially the freshman kids that played in that game. I thought the game and the atmosphere. We walked in the stadium and guys were like, "We playing in the pro stadium, guy. This is where the Eagles play." And so I was trying to get them, "Hey, look, be quiet. Don't worry about that." I had my best imitation of my mentor, but I thought the game for Rod and those younger kids were just a little bit too big for them, this young in their careers. But I thought he played okay. I thought he played much better at home. He was much more comfortable at home, and so this was a little big for him and some of those younger kids.
Hey, CJ, is the least help with Devin that he's been in the situation before he started? This is a huge test for him going against the 24th ranked team in the country, national television, but at least he's got some starts under his belt.
Absolutely, and I think he's going to be comfortable. Devin is a kid that he's a consummate backup. He's a guy that you want to back up. You be the backup quarterback. It may not look pretty, I hope he can give me a Michael Vick performance like last night, where Vick didn't do it much, and then it was close, and all of a sudden at the end he does some things, and that's what he reminds me of. The backup that can get you out of a game, that can win a game, that knows enough of the offense, that throws it well enough, that gives you a chance to win the game. Now we got to play outstanding defense now in order to have a chance against this guy. This guy is electric. This kid is electric.
Last year was a fairly similar situation against Houston. You were a pretty big underdog going there. What did you think you guys did so well in that game? That was Tanner's, I think, best game of the season. What happened in that game that things opened up and then it hasn't really happened again?
Two things I thought that really happened was I thought we played outstanding defense. And I think when we played defense very, very well, and you remember in that game we lost Monroe early. They kicked Monroe out the game. When we played defense well, I think our offense kind of feeds on it. I thought the kids in that game had a real small, concise plan, and they really executed very, very, very well. And I thought Tanner was on that. It was one of those days where he really felt it. And when he gets like that, or Devin gets like that, I think, we'll have a chance of beating everybody. We didn't turn it over, not very many penalties.
Again, there were things, like I said, Tanner gets hurt, the bad call last week. I think you've called this a fragile team. How much does this even put more pressure on them this week?
A lot of pressure when they look up every, you look up every newspaper. Houston is doing this and doing that, and it's an outstanding team. Nothing against what they're doing. I think what we got to do is we got to concentrate on us and practice hard, work hard. We got to think about us instead of thinking about everything else around them, and I think that's what takes the pressure off you. Because if you think about yourself, what are you doing? Your assignment, and you're doing the right thing. I think that helps you win more than anything, or helps you play well. If we play well, we will have a chance.
Going back to the concussion protocol, obviously Tanner wanted to keep playing.
Did he? He should have been out.
But is that the coach's responsibility, the trainer's responsibility to notice that? Is that something you're afraid maybe you'll get reprimanded from the league office or anything?
No, I don't know about that. Because he was fine, and then I think it was a combination of hits. He took one early, and then if you watch the film, it was 1, 2, 3, and then finally when they saw it, it was the point in the game where they took him into the locker room. So I mean he wasn't like groggy or doing anything. It was a hit, and then that's when they noticed it.
Anybody else?
It's a lot of the same schools, but what do you see so far, the level of competition in this conference right now, and what's it going to take for Tulane to be at that level? You got basically 3 top 25 teams this week.
You know what I think first of all, I think the level of competition is outstanding. If you look at those teams, you look at those rosters, you look at Temple, I was talking to a scout, a friend of mine from the Eagles. They got 3 guys on their defense that is going to probably get drafted. You go up again, you look at what Memphis is doing, their older squad. You look at what, Houston, you look at the number of seniors and juniors that they have. I think all we got to do is continue to improve. If we continue to improve, we'll be there maybe this year, but for sure in the future. We got a quarterback who I think is outstanding. We got 3 or 4 running back. Everybody's coming back. We're losing Monroe and we're losing the Royce LaFrance, but the defense will be back. That reminds me of the Temple team that I saw last year. And then on offense, besides Arturo, everybody, and Robert Kelly, everybody else is back. And everybody's played, and they played a lot. And if you can continue to do that and bring these guys along together, our challenge was we didn't have older kids that were really, really good. We didn't have a Ryan Grant or Junius Wormsley or Ryan Griffin to come in and lead these guys. So now these guys kind of doing it all together. So you make a lot of mistakes when you do it like that. I think if we just keep coming, I think we'll be great.
Anybody else?
Thank you guys. You guys have been outstanding.